Hope
All
they
right
got
then,
it.
guys. Welcome to the podcast. We've done 10 now. So Aaron has kindly made a new. Oh shit, my phone. Nearly
Nope.
dropped my phone. Aaron has kindly made a new layout, and I think it's not as good as the one before, but it's very good still. Still really solid. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's get into this bad boy then. Let's get into the YouTube news. I've been briefed by Aaron that there is going to be something like something really, newsworthy to one of the things we're going to talk about today, like really juicy story. But I'm going to talk firstly about my story now. UFC 239, total disgrace that it's on pay-per-view, but apparently it was like the best show ever. Now, I just want to put something out there. I know there's probably no MMA fans watching this at all, but if you are an MMA fan, what you want to do, get Fight Pass and get Sky Sports instead. Watch some Bellator shows on Sky Sports because they're never going to pay-per-view, and just watch Fight Pass, watch UFC pay-per-views, either live on Fight Pass or months after. Like, it comes out a month after on Fight Pass. This is in pay promotion for Sky Sports, but hopefully they never do this again. Hopefully BT doesn't get greedy and never do this again. I hope not many people have bought the thing. But I just wanted to quickly bring that up. I haven't got any news apart from that. So, Aaron?
Yeah. So I've got three main things and one little thing that's pretty funny at the end. But the main thing I want to bring up is this YouTube channel called Extra Credits. Have you heard of those
Never
before?
heard of him. Extra credit! Never heard of him.
I've never heard of them as well, but they're sort of like a news channel that covers gaming that does a lot of politics in gaming.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what that says off the bat, but
News channel does politics. Okay.
pretty much
And gaming.
what they've said, this is the tagline for it. When you play as a terrorist or a Nazi, however you say it, in a video game, you become that in real life.
I
Do you want
don't know
me?
what to say, because isn't there games like Wolfenstein and you play as a terrorist? You do some terrorist acts in GTA. So
The thing
I
that
haven't become a terrorist yet. Aaron, have you become a
they're
terrorist yet?
no,
Have you done any acts of terrorism?
not that I can remember now.
I think we're the only two people who haven't become terrorists. I think this person is absolutely right about everybody else. Everyone's become a terrorist who's played GTA or Wolfenstein or any of this shit. Everyone has. You're absolutely right. Extra credit. Well done. No,
Um,
but what your thoughts on it? Seriously, what do you think?
but I was just gonna say some of the extra stuff that they've said. They've pretty much said that the game developers force you to become a terrorist in real life because when you load up Call of Duty, Battlefield, CS:GO, whatever, it puts you on a random team sometimes.
Yeah.
It basically says if it puts you on the bad team, then it's forcing you to become that in real life. And the other thing that they've said is when you play one of these like characters in the game. So say if you load up Battlefield, for example, Battlefield 5 or 1 or whatever, it says basically they're saying you need to think about this every time you load up a character, and you have to think, did you know that that soldier you're playing as was forced by Hitler to go into war and they used his family against him, and if he didn't go into the war they would have killed him. That's what they're saying you should think about every time you load up a game.
Mhm.
It's just mental.
Very, 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 very worrying. That's all I'll say. That they're actually putting this out there, and if anyone believes it, I mean, you're entitled to your own opinions. But bloody hell, that's just insane that they're putting that stuff out there on YouTube. It's just a waste of electricity, that kind of stuff. Really, just a waste of time.
Yeah, that's a terrible combination, in my opinion. Politics, mixing politics into games that don't have political things in them.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like if you do something like vlogging, gaming, animations, stop motion animations as well, just information videos, try your best. Well, for most of those, don't get involved in politics. You can have some political aspects in information ones, like Kierkegaard. I can't say his name. Kierkegaard. I can't say it.
I think I know what you mean.
And yeah, yeah, and real life law. You can have some like political things edged in there a little bit, but don't, unless your whole channel's about politics, like political commentators do, or political channels. Then don't go for it unless you're a political channel, because like I've always said, you're going to divide your audience into.
Yeah, Yeah, spot on. Do you want me to go into the next piece of news that I got?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so this one is sort of a good thing about YouTube, which I never thought I'd say in a while. But
Is it a juicy, crazy thing, or is this the...
this is the sort of crazy... Well, in fact, no, this is the second crazy one. The last one's the weirdest.
Okay.
So, there's this comedian, and I use that in very big quotation marks, who basically for years now, he's like that narcissistic, you know, he lies about his age, he says he's 20 years younger than he actually is.
What?
If you just let me go on, this mental. All of his jokes are basically about the fact that he's half Asian, and I think he's half Asian, half American, I think it is.
Okay.
And he's just like a really bad comedian. But basically, he's been stalking comedians for years. So he emails them every single day. He's got, you know, a blockchain in an email. So you just add him up. Basically, he's got loads of people's emails, and he just sends them all emails every day.
Worrying.
He sends them emails basically saying how rich he is, how well he's doing, where he's going, and all that. But the main thing, well, the thing that made me want to talk about it is he's been flagging down YouTube videos, and recently YouTube have actually defended YouTubers, which is pretty shocking, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because yeah, he was flagging down this channel called I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but OKI. Sorry if I completely messed that up. But all he did was make a summary of this guy's jokes and said they're not the best. And he gave him 3 strikes, and his channel was about to go down. And then a massive YouTuber called Justin Wang basically got him out of loads of trouble.
No.
And yeah, YouTube have reinstated this guy's channel, which is pretty decent.
Okay.
So yeah, just wondering your thoughts on all this false flagging. That's not very brief thoughts about, you know, false flagging.
So he tried to flag a load of people, but then another company saved them. I mean, another YouTube channel saved them.
Yeah, it was only because this guy, this Justin Wang, I think he's got about 2 million subscribers. I think it might be a bit more, but they only listen to him because he's got 2 million subs.
Okay.
If it was just like me or you, or whatever, tweeting at YouTube saying, "Look, this guy's clearly in the wrong," they won't care. It's just
Yeah. Well, they've got attention, haven't they? So if their fan base goes and does something and says, "YouTube, what's going on?" there's more chance the person will be saved. But yeah, well, their channel will be saved.
I guess as well, if they say, "Well, all right, I'll stop uploading videos to YouTube," YouTube have just lost a load of adverts they would have.
Yeah. People could do like a YouTube strike, like where they just stop uploading and YouTube lose their ad revenue and all that shit.
Yeah.
Or they do, I don't know. But yeah, very messed up really that this dude's just randomly flagging people. Has he got mental problems or anything? Has he got issues? Or is he... If you going around spamming people and flagging people over nothing, it isn't really.
Well, it was weird because quite recently, I think it was about a year ago, I think it was, he went on this like TV show to talk about how to get over his own self-image, because he said he doesn't like his self-image. But then he went on there and then he just defended himself throughout the whole thing. He didn't take any criticism at all. So
is he like fat or anorexic or?
He's really
not
thin.
bulky?
He's really thin. He's like Asian American, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just getting out of hand, this false flagging on YouTube. But it's all reviewed by bots at the end of the day. If they employed a person, took every single false flag, YouTube wouldn't have enough people on the earth to do that. But yeah.
Yeah, it lagged a bit then, but I think I can make out what you were saying. YouTube wouldn't have enough people left to do it or something.
Yeah. So that's the end of that one. Should I get into the quote-unquote mental one that I've said?
Yeah. Juicy Junior. Real juicy.
Alright, so there's a new social experiment going around, which is pretty much just a prank going around, where people are going into, like, if you're in America, I guess it's Walmart, I think it's Kmart or Kroger, I'm not too sure about American shops, but they're basically going into massive supermarket chains, getting ice cream, and like licking all around the ice cream, sticking their heads in, you know, like basically putting all germs all over the ice cream, and then putting it back, and then bragging about the fact that they haven't got caught. That's the new social experiment going on.
I'm speechless.
It's
I really am.
bizarre.
I'm guessing a lot of people have got in trouble for this shit then.
No, not a lot of people have. No, in
Oh,
fact, no. The person who
I thought
started
this was
it.
something to do with Boogie.
No,
Because we're doing a review on him later. I thought this was something to do with him.
no,
I thought he did something mental, like, whoa, what's Boogie done?
no, he has, but that's later on.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh shit, okay.
but
I don't know, I haven't looked into what Boogie's done, but Aaron knows, so.
but yeah, this new social experiment. The person who started it has. I think she's being sentenced to 20 years in prison because
Ah, yes!
she's spreading germs around and stuff. Or she's.
Well, no, I shouldn't be celebrating that much that someone's life is getting thrown away. But it's like, why have they? Okay, they shouldn't be put away for 20 years. That's too much. Okay, just for licking an ice cream, you know, they shouldn't be put away for that long. But because if they did it loads and loads and loads and loads and bragged about it on the internet and kept doing it over and over and over and over again, did she do it loads or just once?
I think she started it and she's being held accountable for other people. And I think
Oh,
the maximum
just
sentence that they could give her is 20 years. She probably won't get that.
Oh, good. Oh, phew. I thought, by the way you're making it out, I thought that she'd done it loads and loads and loads or something. That's why they put her away, because she just wouldn't listen, and they might have given her loads of chances. That's really bad. that I was like, yes! Because I don't know, I shouldn't keep making assumptions. I shouldn't keep assuming that people have done the worst. She shouldn't be held accountable for a bunch of fuckwits doing what she's doing, okay? If she licked an ice cream or shoved it up her arse, then put it back on the table and then said, here you go, eat this, to the person at the counter. She shouldn't be held responsible. You know, there should be putting something out like, if you do this again, you're getting put away for a month. If you do it again, you're getting put away for 6 months. If you do it again, you're going to get put away for a year. And just keep giving them a few chances, and then they'll realise, shit, we're going to get big shit for this.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, because not everyone can keep being put away for 20 years. I just thought the woman had done it loads of times, and no one did anything about it. No one did anything. Then she does it like for the 100th time. You go into jail for 20 years. Yes! Finally, nah. But, yeah, mental. I thought this was the Boogie stuff. This has just fucking freaked me out. I'm like, what are people doing, wasting their lives, ruining ice creams?
Oh no, it's just...
Thankfully, I don't even like ice cream or desserts or cakes. I only like chocolate and jam tarts. Honestly, they're the only treats I like. So I'm glad I don't eat ice cream, because people are shitting all over the ice creams now in America, in the Walmarts or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get on to the main topic, because that was just bizarre. It was funny though.
I had one little thing left. It would take 5 seconds to do.
Go for it, yeah.
Belle Delphine, Gamer Girl Bathwater. Your opinions?
Oh, yeah!
Yes.
Yeah, I already know about this story. So, first things first, everyone. We're going to advertise some alpha male bathwater. It gets right up the... it's Callum's Corner in a top... I have to get me some of this alpha male water now. It gets right up the sack and crack area, like he says. He farts in the water. And he's selling it for a nice price of $2,000. So if you want to get some of that alpha male, I'm going to get me about 50 million batches. 25 million for myself, and then another 25 to just send. Honestly, why the fuck is anyone buying bathwater? Like, come on, I don't know what the world's coming to. If anyone has actually bought her water, first off, if she's charging water just because she's, you know, been in the water and all her juices have gone in the water, you know, and all the sweat. If you're buying, I mean, this is mental. This is absolutely stupid. She's got a platform and she's selling water that she's been in.
Have you seen that thing where this guy, basically this woman went on Reddit and basically told everyone that she's broken up with her boyfriend because he's been buying it in bulk?
Oh,
it's just
I'm
bizarre.
leaving. I'm quit. I'm leaving the podcast, Aaron. I'm leaving. I'm finished.
Oh, I actually don't know if he's gone or not. But yeah,
finished. See ya. This is over. No, I'm joking. I was just checking if my nose was shut. Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's absolute madness. I mean, I forgot about it until now. That the bathwater definitely trumps the what's it called? It's way weirder than people shitting on ice creams.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, go and buy yourself some Alpha or some. How many subs has she got, and how many? Wait, you can genuinely purchase Callum's Corner water?
I think he genuinely wants to do it, doesn't he?
Oh, what? I thought he was just having
a laugh. He said,
I thought
I might charge 10 quid a bottle.
No, he's certainly joking.
Yeah,
I mean, mind you,
probably
though.
Is. But he did sell Tic Tac badges, didn't he? That he hand-coloured with crayons. So.
My badges! Someone said I sucked off dogs for quavers. I don't want to talk to Jumbo Tube anymore. Oh. It is a badge of my head, not a badge of me giving head, as some of you really like to put on there. Or you dirty birdies will face me in a live stream tonight. Oh, recently, Callum's Corner's done like a really aggressive video, and it made me laugh so much. Yeah. When he was like, "That is my tea!"
He's double dunked.
that is my tea you're putting your fingers in there, woman.
She's frigged herself off and dunked her fingers in my tea.
There was another thing I was going to bring up about Callum's. Oh yeah. Like I said, I sort of wouldn't put him past him for him to sell this bathwater, because I remember years ago he did sell hoodies for like 30 quid just with his face on. 30 quid for a hoodie with his face on. I mean, that is real greediness, you know. I mean, he's got to be making some decent cash off of YouTube now, hasn't he? Because he can afford not to work. You know, he used to be a care worker and he doesn't work anymore. So,
yeah.
So he's got to be. So hopefully, if he is selling hoodies, make them a bit cheaper. But by the way, if you're new to the podcast, me and Aaron, Callum's Corner is one of my favourite YouTubers. Aaron also watches every single video he does, so he's an absolute legend. You know. Yeah. So yeah, we're just having a bit of a laugh about him. You know, he's an absolute top geezer, like I say. But you know, hopefully it's a joke about the Alpha Male bathwater. But yeah, it's scary that some geezer who's already with a woman is buying not just one bottle, but buying it in bulk. Like, how much is she selling this for then?
$30 for like 50 milliliters or something stupid.
So, I don't even know what.
It's like
forget. Let's just move on. Let's move on. Yeah, that's fucking mental. He's buying. Where's he getting this money from? I don't mean to keep getting angry and having outbursts on the podcast, but hold on. So, say if he buys like, 50 milliliters.
The way it works out, I think he spent about $300 on her so far. In one go, and he was planning to get more.
What annoys me though, how can they even tell if it's her water? I'm not saying it's good to buy anyway. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely retarded.
Remember that video I sent
some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen on the internet. This might be probably the dumbest piece of YouTube news. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to bring up. We need to give a bit of attention to it, even though we've got quite a small audience. We need to bring a bit of attention to this because it's absolutely retarded. Like, this is the new lows. I'm sorry, like, what is going on?
I know.
It's just, she could be getting some big hairy homeless person. I hope this puts people off it. She could get some homeless person to get naked, sit in the bath for 5 hours, and just use his. And people will buy it anyway. They'll think it's her water. So I don't get it. I don't understand. Mental, absolutely mental and weird. That's all I've got to say about that. Stupid, absolutely ridiculous.
Right, I think that's it. We've been talking for 20 minutes about that.
Yeah. Well. It was a long news segment, to be fair, but that final story was just absolutely mental.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, let's get into the main topic then, and there's one more. We're going to do a YouTube review of Boogie, as I said before, but the first thing is the gaming industry, so what's good and bad about it, and then Aaron, in your opinion, like in this present moment in time?
What's good about it at the moment is, in my opinion, is you can just connect with your mates regardless. You can play pretty much any game with them, can't you now? Even if they're a mile away, a million miles away.
Really good, isn't it?
Yeah, just the standard of online has really gone up. Well, obviously, it can only really go up from like the PS2 era. where it sort of started. But now you can play with anyone around the world. You know,
all around the world.
Go back about 10 years.
Copyright strike.
About 15 years, and you wouldn't be able to probably do that very well. Whereas now every game you can sort of play online in some way with someone else.
Yeah, man. Like I say, all around the world, baby. You can just talk to anyone. So, pretty good shit. Me personally, I'd say all the graphic changes, how, you know, the graphics are insanely good, gameplay is insanely good on certain games. The budgets behind them are really good, you know, games are being put out left, right and centre. The sad thing is, half those games are dog shit or just the same thing. Well, most of the games are actually dog shit or just the same thing over and over and over again. So I guess that's a good and a bit of bad, but bad stuff about it nowadays. Companies, microtransactions, I know we're basically stating the obvious and beating an old bush, but still. Microtransactions are absolutely killing everything. I mean, this isn't just now though, because remember the first Destiny?
Yeah.
You paid 50, or whoever, you paid 50 quid for the original game, the whole game. Then there's 3 20 quid DLCs, so you end up paying 110 quid over all of the years. Because basically everyone else is going to get the game, aren't they? I mean, get the DLCs. If you want to have the full experience of that game, you buy the DLCs, and it's just a joke that they expect. And they've done it with Destiny 2. There's one more DLC coming out this year. People are having to spend like 110 quid on a game that should be 60 quid.
I know. When I played Destiny for the first time, I got to, I think I completed the moon, or I completed one area and all that, and then I basically hit a wall where I had to start buying stuff. I didn't buy anything. I just quit playing the game. But I got to a point where it was like, you need to buy this now to progress. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Stupid, innit? I wouldn't mind so much if they were just after like microtransactions, but a lot of this stuff, either you have to get it to get the full experience of the game, or it's all pay to win. So Halo 5, there's this game type called Warzone, and you can buy loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of packs. And then once you buy all those packs, you know, you can get a load of good shit. You can call in massive tanks, and it's not really fair, to be honest. FIFA, you could buy loads of packs. I don't really have too much of a problem with the pack system on FIFA. I prefer it if it was points, but you know, it's whatever. EA are gonna have to cash. It's whatever, you know. But I feel like really competitive games like Halo, there shouldn't really be. I know it's just one game type, but they shouldn't really be doing this type of thing. You know, It's an absolute disgrace. You got any more negatives? I've got a few more. But,
yeah, I was going to say, the thing with games now is it's pretty much a 50-50 if they're going to be any good. So you see all like the advertisements, like, oh, that game's amazing and all that. And yeah, it is like 50-50. And you know what it's going to be like when it comes out. I mean, that's why I guess like game reviews and like Let's Plays on YouTube are really good now, because you can actually see a game for what it is. Rather than go back like 10, 15 years, you wouldn't be able to. You'd have to go and spend the full 60 quid and then see if it's any good. Or know someone who has spent that much.
Well, years ago, games used to be way cheaper, you know. We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a bit. But games nowadays, it's like a big negative I have is it's all online based, and the problem is the online's a bag of shit, you know. They need to try and make good stories. Now, there are certain games that I'm just biased towards, though, I'll be perfectly honest. The main games I play, I rarely go on Xbox now, but when I do the main games, I play Prominence Poker. A bit of cheeky Apex, because that is actually a really good Battle Royale game. I'm not even a Battle Royale game person, but I really like Apex. And the WWE games, I don't watch WWE anymore, but the online on the games is really fun to play. I wish 2K had focused more on the online than the single player, because no one gives a shit about the single player, really. Well, I personally don't, but maybe some wrestling fans do. But yeah, I know that contradicts what I said about focusing more on story, but I was just using WWE as one example. The online on there is actually good. Other games, the online sucks, like Forza, that's semi-decent, you know, I guess you're playing okay online. Gears of War, I haven't really played it, the online on that. Halo, in my opinion, all of Halo's crap nowadays, really. The online, just no good. And Sea of Thieves, like I said, in the Xbox One versus PS4, the only good thing about Sea of Thieves because we brought up their exclusives. And the only good thing about Sea of Thieves is the ship-to-ship combat. Everything else about it sucks. It's just a fully online game, I believe. I don't know if there is some sort of single player on there. I haven't properly checked them because they have updated it loads, but I wouldn't imagine that there is a single player. It's just all online, and I wish they'd be more bothered about making stories, you know, because back in the day, most games, and especially the best games, it was all story based, and you didn't get as sucked into the game because it wasn't really about being skilled. It was a bit, but like you weren't competing with anyone else and you weren't showing off to your mates. You were just playing a campaign, playing one game, then you were done. But nowadays, you're constantly leveling up, and it gets people more sucked into it, which is no good, really. We'll talk about gaming, like back in the day, what was good and bad. So, have you got any more points bad about present day gaming?
I was just saying, with a lot of things like CS:GO, FIFA, I guess you could say Halo as well, but it is like a form of gambling in a way. I know there's that court ruling recently where I forgot what they said about EA, the way they did it, but it is just like gambling for a new audience that's technically legal. It's good. It's basically a good way to get kids into gambling, in my opinion. A lot of stuff like that.
100%. Yes, let's go on to gaming back in the day then. What was good about it is that because I don't believe there was an online for Xbox and PS2, and if there was, it was really basic. You weren't talking to people really. You weren't like hanging around with people on there. You were just playing games, and most games I didn't really have an online on the PS2. But yeah, most games on the PS2, the majority of games I had were just like kids games, and obviously I enjoyed them. But like the more grown-up games, I had like the Medal of Honor. I had quite a lot of 12+ games when I was like 5 years old. The Battlefronts, they were 12s, you know. I had the Jack series, I had Ratchet and Clank, Crash Bandicoot. I think I had a Spyro game on there. I know Crash Bandicoot is an adult, and no Ratchet and Clank isn't, but you know what I mean. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I just had loads of racing games too. Which were real fun, and they weren't online based. It didn't really matter how skilled you were, and there wasn't a toxic community on there. You just played the game and did whatever, really. And like I said with it before, you're not really getting sucked in and addicted to it, you know. So that's a really good thing about it. Like I said, companies, they weren't pressured to make games every year. They were making games because they were passionate about it, and they weren't out to make money. They were just out to make good games. But in the long run, look at Bungie when they made amazing games. They made loads of money. When the good COD games came out, they made loads of money. I know COD, people who make COD, what are they called, the people who make COD? Activision.
Yeah.
They still make loads of money, but I mean, they make more if the games are actually good and they're brought some out so many years. I mean, they might not because people are dumb enough to buy the DLCs loads and loads and loads and loads, but just the DLCs probably add up money from. But at the end of the day, what's loads of money without a decent legacy? If they just go out being con men, then what actually is the point, you know? But if they actually like get people behind them and people enjoying their stuff, then and they go out with a good legacy, then maybe people will be more willing to buy stuff in the future. Because in the future, people might just give up on them and just not be as bothered. I know COD's going down the shitter. I know not as many people are going to buy the new COD. So yeah.
Yeah. I know I've seen that thing about EA, I think it was last year, they explained their business model, and it's pretty much they want to produce the same game every year, like a subscription service. So you know how you subscribe to things in real life, like a gym or, you know, like TV things. They want it like that, so you pay every month for the exact same thing, over and over and over and over again. That's the way that they want their business.
Worrying. Very, very worrying.
I mean, they've been doing that for years, haven't they? Like with FIFA, with some Battlefield games. What are the other ones that EA have done? I guess you could. Oh no, I wouldn't say Mass Effect. That was decent back in the day. Current day Mass Effect's terrible.
Haven't played it, so can't say. Ooh.
It's not the best. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Bad shit about, or do you have anything else to add?
No, I don't really have anything else negative to say about the gaming industry.
Bad things about old gaming. I don't know, but you can't really control this. The graphics weren't as good, gameplay wasn't as good. That was the only things just weren't as up to date. But that's like criticising old films for not having crazy CGI in them. You know, it's just nitpicking nonsense, really. The graphics have come on nowadays, and they weren't as good back then. Simple as, but it's not really any big deal, you know. So yeah, Personally, I think gaming industry was way better back then, but hopefully they can pull something out their ass, and I think it was some good stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
Next topic is gaming addiction. What do you think of it, Aaron? I know that's a pretty broad question, but
As a whole, I think it's a bit hard, but as a whole, I think if you are full on addicted to games and all that, or are fully addicted to some aspect of gaming, it's because you have something else going on as well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's not
100%.
just on its own. So if it's like kids being addicted to games, it's because they think it's fun and entertaining, and also it's an escape from reality. If you're older and you're fully addicted, it could be because you're not happy in your life at the moment and you just want to pretend you're like a god or something in a game. Because most games will make you pretty much invincible, like God mode and stuff. So it could be something like that. But I just think that deep down, everyone sort of has stuff going on and they just portray it in different ways, and game addiction might be a way that they do it. But yeah.
To be honest, I feel like with gaming, especially like I said before, years ago, it was way easier because you just play a game, then you pretty much finish. I know some people might like to redo the games, but again, once you played it once, you're not going to be as persistent to just replay it over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, you could be, but a lot of people just like the sense of achievement. They're sort of hypnotised into being inside this gaming world. When they get a kill, it makes them feel good, or if they win a certain thing on the game, it makes them feel good. It makes them feel like they're worth something way more than they actually are. Like you said, it makes them feel invincible. They've got some sort of power because they're actually good at the game and they're beating other people at this game because it's a certain competitive nature. I feel like being competitive on games though, and winning in games, it makes people struggle more in real life. Like, it's a harder pill to swallow if you lose at something in real life. You might be competitive in a game of snakes and ladders. I don't know. You might get competitive over that, that's how I feel game addiction can make some people. I feel like it's a lot easier to just put the game down, or maybe just quit the certain game that you're addicted to. That can be quite easy, and just play a different game, or play story-driven games, or play old consoles where there aren't any people on there, I feel like another reason, though, people might want some social aspect. They might struggle in real life and they want to talk to people on Xbox or PS4, but the thing is that only is prolonging the inevitable. You just need to go out and try and, go to social clubs, or I don't know, or just go do other stuff, or learn how to talk to people. I don't know. It's not easy for everyone. Obviously, I'm not saying give up Xbox totally, but do things in moderation, talk to people in moderation, That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Let's load this up. But yeah, I know that currently that some places do treat it, like game addiction, as an actual addiction to something. Because I know there's all these reports saying that you get the same sort of effect like if you take certain drugs when you play games and all that. But I don't know how to word it exactly, but there's a big difference between being addicted to playing a game and being addicted to playing a game and then going out and doing something like in the game. So I know back in the day, I mean, he still does it now. There's this person called Jack Thompson. He still believes that like GTA is going to cause terrorism, going to cause all this, when there's no real links. I mean, I know people say, oh, but there's school shooters who learn to do it on a game, but like they had something else going on at the time in their head. They're not.
Yeah, they might have been bullied, or they might have serious mental issues, or whatever.
Yeah, and I don't think you can. It's hard to explain it really, but you can't just full on blame a game for something. Because you as a human obviously have your own control over yourself. You're not being like mind controlled, are you? And not being like the game's literally holding your hand and forcing you out to go and shoot someone or whatever.
Exactly, 100%. Like, if they're not mentally, capable to play a game, but if they're mentally capable to do other stuff, it's like if they've got enough power to do other things, like cars. All right, let's take cars as an example. Are we going to really stop everyone from driving cars because one person went crazy and did a crazy crash or ran over some people, which I hope that, sadly that happens. I hope it happens less. You know what I mean, though? I'm just using this as a scenario. Like, if someone goes crazy in a car or does anything crazy in a car, are we going to punish everyone else? Are we going to say, oh, cars are really awful? No, it's the same with gaming. I know what to do if I shoot someone in a game that's inside a game. I know not to shoot someone in real life or stab someone or beat up someone in real life. Okay, I know that that's wrong. All right. The parents should be taking charge. If they know their kid isn't mentally stable enough to play the game or they're worried, get them therapy or do something else. You cannot solely blame the game. You cannot punish loads of other people who haven't done anything, you know.
Yeah, because I know that the rating system on games it's not like an actual law, but it is advisory, isn't it? And I know shops can't sell someone under that age the game.
And that's wise, because, you know, I totally agree.
But if that parent makes a decision to go... I mean, like in my house, I didn't play any GTA really until I was like 14, 15. And that's because my mum had absolutely no idea what GTA was. And I just sat down and explained it to her. And she went, oh, all right. And I just explained it to her.
I used to play GTA 4 when it came out around my cousin's house quite a lot, to be honest. I didn't play it like every day, but whenever I went to my cousin's, we'd put GTA on or GTA 4 on. Or to be honest, I wasn't really doing the story stuff loads because obviously being an 8-year-old, I was just my cousin would get the cheats on and I'd be in the helicopter or fast cars or getting all the weapons. And obviously, I know you can still do the missions. I still did some of the missions, but like it was just mostly messing around. It was like I was treating it as more of like a sandbox game, really, just faffing around and shooting cops and just messing around, really. But I knew that that's bad in real life. I had the mental capability to realise you can't do this stuff in real life. You can't blow up cars in real life. That's bad shit, you know.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's like if the parent makes the choice to think, all right, my child at this age is mentally stable to play this game. I'll keep. Well,
my parents didn't like me playing the game, but I really enjoyed it and it was fun. And obviously, if I was doing anything too bad, because they said don't go around killing people on the game, blah blah. You know, so I didn't sometimes. But like,
I've just got to be back in a minute. I shall return. But I hope James keep you going for a minute.
So yeah, my parents didn't really want me playing the game, which is understandable. You don't want to keep playing the game, but I was able to, deal with the game, coping with the game, and just having a bit of fun on it, really. I know people who were playing San Andreas at like 5, and they weren't. I was only playing GTA 4 once in a while. Okay, I didn't play like GTA regularly until till I think 2011, I think. So I was 11 at the time, but 3 years from being 8, 8 originally playing GTA 4, and then at 11 playing GTA 4 regularly on my 360, it wasn't as bad. And then obviously playing, but I still didn't play it regularly. And then I did a little bit, but not loads. But obviously when I was 13, got GTA 5. Played GTA 5 quite regularly, and it's whatever really. At the end of the day, I was capable. I could deal with it. GTA 5 was actually the game I spent the most time on. Surprisingly, 44 days. I haven't spent that long on any other game. So yeah.
Whereas I have returned.
All right, Aaron.
Yeah. So I think I was caught the end bit of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was just saying how I used to play GTA, but you heard a bit of it, so.
Yeah, I was just trying to make the point, that basically you just got to look at your kid, think he's mentally sound at the moment, but if he starts, showing off any signs that he's not, take the game off him or her.
Exactly. or if they're of age, then let them play the game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you have something else going on, if you've got anger issues, don't play GTA. Don't play a shooting game at all.
No, because people will. To be honest, I don't have anger issues. I did used to get quite annoyed at games because I'm not really the best at games. I don't care anymore. It's just a game. But obviously, when you're younger, it takes you a while to realise that it's just a game, really.
Yeah, that's true.
So but yeah, even people who are like really good at a game, they get annoyed quite easily. I just feel like, there's another decent point I was going to bring up, but I'm struggling to remember it at the moment. It was something about, so if gaming addiction, the thing is, I haven't played Xbox regularly for ages, for like a really long time. Like, I go on once, like, I used to go on like every day, and partly because when I went to college, 3 days of the week, I just couldn't be on. Like, I genuinely couldn't be on. The other 2 days, I could go on, but it would be a bit of effort to like go on. I'd be like, oh bloody hell, you know. But the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I just physically could not. I wouldn't be on. You know, if I did get on, it'd be really late. So, yeah. But enough about that. Anyway, it wasn't like I just gave up Xbox suddenly, all of a sudden. It took quite. I wasn't really bothered. It wasn't like I had a craving to go on a console. You know, if you know what I mean. I
Yeah.
wasn't really like obsessed with it. Even though I used to play it loads and loads, I wasn't really like I could deal without it. I enjoyed going on there, but I could deal with not going on there. But yeah, it took a long time for me. It wasn't a problem that I was on there every day, but like I think it's done me better that I'm not on there that much anymore. To be fair, you're just doing more stuff. You're out and about more. You're enjoying yourself. You're having a better time. You know, it's better really. The main reason I don't play though, it isn't even that reason. It's because all the games are shit, really. Like,
Yeah.
I still would. I think it is better that I don't play it loads and loads, but like I would play it a little bit more if the games weren't so shit. Because I think even if I wasn't doing mad hours at college like years ago originally, like on my first year I was doing mad hours, but like if I wasn't doing that, I think eventually I still would have given up anyway because it was just a bit boring, you know. It was just a
Yeah.
bit like it just wasn't that good. But other people, they just struggle, I guess. And the thing is, I don't think can compare it to like food addiction, alcohol addiction, drug addiction. You can't compare gaming addiction to any of those because those are so much harder to do. And history is showing you people struggle so much more with that sort of stuff, and it's so much more, you know, worse really. But gaming addiction, you can just give up. You can just turn the console off, do something else, distract your mind, exercise more. If people go and exercise, drugs can still be on my mind because it does stuff to your brain. Xbox and PS4 and PC doesn't have as much of an effect on your brain. Well, I guess it's just down to the person, really. Consoles are fine in moderation, okay? Just, you know, don't go overboard with it. That's the last point I've got to make. I'm going to go to the toilet, though, so,
Alright,
yeah.
I'll just make a quick point now. But I think the main thing about game addiction that I forgot to bring up earlier because I had to go and do something is it's on your phones now, isn't it? It's on your tablet. So, like James said, you know, you can turn off the console, you can walk away from it, but not many people now can leave their phone at home. They can't leave their phone turned off. They can't, you know, go too far away from their phone because everything is on your phone now. You know, if you need to call someone in an emergency, you need to get in touch with anyone, if you need to look something up, if you need to check the weather, anything like that, you know, you need to use your phone. And there's that many games on your phone that are pretty much just based around like gambling schemes, aren't they? So obviously I've mentioned before, you have like looter shooters, you can have them on your phone. You get loot boxes. What is it? It's not Game of War, is it? I think it might be Game of War actually. But you got them. I know some old school games you used to play back in the day. Downloaded them a while back, looked at them, and they're pretty much just entirely click here to spend £6, click here to spend £10 on this gem or something. I'm just like, this isn't gaming, is it? It's just a form of gambling. Even systems when you go to, you know, like in FIFA as well. So I know I think you can get a version of it on your phone now. On that, it's still like a gambling because you pay with FIFA points, which is, I don't play FIFA in that long, I don't really know anymore. But you know, you put your money in like you would at a casino or whatever, and you see the cards like flash around, and you just think, oh, who am I going to get? Who am I going to get? And it builds up suspense, and then you see, and half the time you barely get anyone, and the one time you do get someone, you're pretty much going to go out and buy more, aren't you? You're just going to go out. Just buy more FIFA points or whatever game you're playing. It could be Halo, it could be GTA, because another way, you know, it's pretty ironic the way they do it, because you use real life money to buy money in the game, to buy real life things in the game. It's really confusing, but yeah, and also as well, Red Dead, what they're doing, you know, messing around with the economy on that game, you know, pushing the prices up. As James has said before, you know, they've halved the value of everything. So you got to work twice as hard to get the same thing. And even before they halved the price of stuff, it was still ridiculously hard to make money. Because, you know, you'd do like a half an hour mission or whatever, go hunting for half an hour on Red Dead online, and then you get like $3. and you think, oh, that might be a lot online. Look at the price of guns; it's like $1,000. I'm like, what? How am I meant to do that? So yeah, it's just pretty mental. Now I don't know where James said he was going to. I think he said the toilet. So I'm just gonna keep on rambling until he gets back. But yeah, the main thing that people like to bring up about gaming addiction is, I know we've just mentioned it before, but you know, all these people have got addicted to games. All these people, because they've got addicted to games, they've gone out and have caused these massive events. You know, they've shot up a school or something, or they've gone and committed like a crime or something. I think the main thing was, it's always through GTA. It's about kids like stealing their parents' cars or something. I'm like, well, first of all, if a child steals your car, why did you let a child play the game? And I know you can argue the fact that, well, but they wanted it and they seemed alright, but if there's any doubt that you think that they might do something...
Any doubt? Hello?
I was just saying about GTA and stuff, but I was going to say,
Right.
if there's any doubt of your kid doing something, just take off them. But I just mentioned about mobile games as well, about how they're pretty terrible, and they're basically just gambling in your pocket.
Oh yeah, I forgot that, yeah. So yeah, that's that really. Do you want to talk about anything else, or...?
That's the end of the gaming bit, unless you have anything.
No, nothing at all.
So
Good
this
shit
is
anyway.
probably a big chunk of the videos coming up now, so do you want to introduce it, or should I?
We're going to review Boogie2988. I used to watch him loads and loads and loads, and he honestly used to be one of my top 5 favourite YouTubers. I used to really respect him. The Draw My Life video that he made was, like, honestly, I felt a little bit emotional, to be fair. I felt like I was going to tear up a bit, you know, because that was just the life he's been through. It hasn't been easy for the lad, to be fair, and him being like 300 odd pounds or £400 for ages must have been like hell for him, really. And his parents weren't nice to him, and he grew up in quite a rough area, I believe. I haven't watched him properly in years, but since you came with the idea to talk about him, I thought, oh, I know this guy. Let's do a bit of research into him. So yeah, let's say some good stuff about him first. Then, what have you got?
Sorry, you said that as I took a drink.
Oh.
But yeah, I think the good thing about him, or good things about him, is he is one of the oldest still active YouTubers on YouTube, which just shows either shows dedication or he can't move on. But it's good that he stayed for this long, isn't it? Regardless.
Yeah, I feel like from the way he talks and what he says, he does love this gig. You know, he really, really enjoys doing this type of stuff. Because that's actually why, I think, from what I've heard, that his wife left him in the first place. Because...
Oh, no. No. Anyway, what were you saying? You said it was because his wife left him because of, and then you didn't say
Yeah, so he'd be in front of the computer for like 12 hours a day, I heard anyway, and it just shows how much he loves this stuff now. A lot of YouTubers aren't in front of the computer 12 hours a day. Like, some of them might be, like PewDiePie, but some of them, they don't really have to be. They've already got enough money, they can sit back. And it's not like Boogie's like the most famous YouTuber ever, like PewDiePie. And half the stuff Boogie was doing wasn't even for YouTube. Like, he'd be doing podcasts and interviews, or typing up like stuff about a game, I don't know. But mainly, like, he'd do a podcast and then something else. I heard about his tough operation because he was talking so much his mouth started bleeding. And that might have been something to do with the 12 hours in front of the computer a day. I don't know, I was just watching the H3H3 podcast with him and I thought, man, this is a good podcast. But some of the stuff he said on there was very weird. But yeah, he's definitely a retro. We'll get into that later, but definitely a retro YouTuber. His first video was 18th of September 2006, playing Dungeons and Dragons. Fair enough. 00, a legend born. One of the comments says, and this is where it all began. People are saying, fair enough. There's the Incredible Bulk, 4th of July, Christmas. I'm going to look at this one. I'm not going to have the sound on, obviously.
I know, I've seen.
He was a mild gamer until he got hungry.
I've seen that video of him where he basically tries to talk up a woman and she rejects him. It's all set up, but you know. Oh, I think James's microphone has gone.
I've not muted it, so.
Oh, there we
go. To be honest, it's cool how he's such an intelligent guy, like such a genius when he talks about stuff, but he can actually make a fool out of himself, and I think a lot of people wouldn't have the balls to, and which I don't blame them, to like make the fun of themselves like this if they were that fat. But I know a couple of people do, like the Maya guy. He did.
You know, for ages I thought that was Boogie.
Mental, but fair enough, understandable.
I honestly thought for ages, yeah. It was just, I was like, no, it's not.
Let's look at his most views video, dramatic fat guy splash.
Oh,
I mean, I love how the videos with the most views are like, they've got nothing interesting in them. It's just like, it was funny, the video was quite funny, don't get me wrong, but still. I'm going to rewatch it for nostalgia's sake, who cares?
Alright, did you want me to talk about, like, because I just need to sort of preface this as saying I'm not really a fan of Boogie. I tried to watch some of his videos back in the day, and they just weren't for me. I just didn't like him for some reason. I just didn't get along with him for some bizarre way. But a lot of the stuff he's done now is pretty bizarre. I'm just going to wait for sort of James to see if he wants.
Just had to watch that amazing nostalgia back in the day, dramatic fat guy splash.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm being honest with you, I'm trying to think of other good stuff about him. He used to be the good guy YouTube, I guess. And he still is quite a nice man, you know, he tries. He said all he's bothered about is trying to do good stuff for people and trying to help people. But some of his actions are a bit questionable, so let's talk about some bad stuff then. What have you got to say, Aaron?
So this sort of like unfolded, well, at the time we're recording this morning and a bit of last night, so that probably doesn't mean anything because.
But how are we going to judge things again? Didn't we give like star ratings?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, let's just give him a star rating. But have you heard about?
So no, we had like history. Sorry, it doesn't matter. I'll write the things down that we said though.
Right. Have you heard about the Tesla situation?
Yeah. I was going to bring up something similar, like when he said something very weird on the podcast H3. But yeah, go on then. Talk about it.
So I just like
Is this the really weird thing?
Yeah, this is the really bizarre thing.
Oh, okay.
Right. So if you don't know, Boogie on Twitter for the past, I guess, about a week now, he's been saying that one day he's brought a Tesla, and then the next day he's saying that he hasn't, and he hasn't got any money for it. And everyone's thinking, oh, has he brought one or hasn't he brought one? And basically today he put up this tweet saying that what he's been trying to do is he's been trying to get loads of attention by people saying, Boogie, you're a total idiot. What are you saying? Have you brought a Tesla? Haven't you brought a Tesla? And I think it was yesterday on Twitch, because he live streams on Twitch. He put up this video of him basically going berserk at Reddit. He did the Francis voice, but it's pretty obvious it was just him
getting angry.
Yeah, because that's what I'll get into that in a second. Actually, the Francis thing, but basically he went mental on stream, started screaming at people and about Reddit, and basically what he's been trying to do is he's been trying to get loads and loads of hype around him, and he wants to get on Drama Alert so he can get more ad revenue, so he can actually buy a Tesla. That's what he's been trying to do. What's
funny though, right, is how he goes on about, like on the podcast he said, I want fuck you money. I want fuck you money, okay? I want 5 million, 1.5 million just sitting there in my bank. That's what I want. But I'm thinking, mate, you already get paid loads off YouTube. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, he said something like that this morning. He said, what was it? He said he's neurotic, so even though he has that much money saved up, he can live off it for about 5 years comfortably. He's still scared of the fact it might vanish tomorrow. That's what he said this morning.
I mean, it's worrying, really. And he says, they pay me to do the review, but I'm not going to go and do this review because I don't want to have a go at the game. I don't want to have a go at the developers. I'll happily have a go at the CEO, but I don't want to have a go at the developers. And I'm thinking, you want fuck you money really badly, yet you're not willing to review a game, and you don't want to have a go at the developers. Listen, the CEO is definitely the worst. Okay, I'll give him that. I understand why he wants to give the CEO the most, aggression. But the developers make the choice to work for that CEO. If the developers are good enough, they can try and find someone else. Okay, if you're not going to go and review a game and give your honest opinion on a game for money, but you want fuck you money, then what are you doing? It's weird. To be honest, something I didn't understand though is how he's like, I'm not an angel, I'm not a saint. I invested $15,000 into this gaming store. I think it was a gaming store or something. And he's like, I'm not a saint, but I want money back from it. And I'm thinking, Boogie, mate, you are doing the right thing. You're invested in a business, and of course you want to see that money back. That's brilliant. And another thing, he's actually giving a safe space for people who need counselling, and he's giving a safe space for LGBT people as well. And I'm thinking, mate, obviously you're going to want some money back. You're helping so many people. Don't shit on yourself for this, bro. You're doing such an amazing thing here. You're giving someone 15. You're creating jobs for people. You're giving people safe spaces. You're giving people counselling if they're worried. You're paying for that. Your hard work is paying for that, bro. So don't shit on yourself for that. It's just confusing, really.
Yeah. I've got quite a few things. I've got two main things actually that I was going to say. I've got loads of little points. But have you heard about the Anita Sarkeesian thing?
No.
Alright. She's pretty much like the lead feminist on YouTube. Or like in the YouTube sort of world. She's the feminist who he shared a panel with at VidCon. Don't know if you remember that. Because he spoke about that on the H3HD podcast, I think, in 2018, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Where he basically said, let's have a look. He basically said he had to be extremely careful what he said because she gets triggered over just like a man being in the room sort of thing.
Who had to be careful then?
Boogie, with what he said and how he responded and all stuff like this. And then he pretty much, on the HTHC podcast, he said, because Anita Sarkeesian has very strong opinions, that's what led to a shooting. I know. I don't get what...
Again, I'm really speechless. So, because she got angry, that means...
No, she didn't get angry. It's just because she has strong opinions. She didn't get angry at anyone during that thing.
Okay, then. So, because she has very extreme views and really strong opinions, she's responsible for loads of deaths. I think that's mental to say something like that.
I know. That's pretty much what I think as well.
I mean, for him to blame her for a shooting, I'm not sticking up for this person. I'm sure she said being triggered if a man is in the room is not really that good. I know you might be over-exaggerating a bit, but getting annoyed over really little things isn't good, but she isn't responsible for anyone dying. That's quite an awful accusation to make against someone. Very horrible stuff.
Yeah. The last thing I'm going to say, it's a bit of a hard one, and this might sort of change your opinion on him, James, but it was with his secret girlfriend. Have you heard anything about this?
No.
Alright, so basically, when he was getting divorced in July 2018, he started dating this adult film star, let's call her, called Lucy Fox. I'm guessing you haven't heard of her.
She's in the adult entertainment industry. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in a nice way so we don't get taken down. But basically, to cut it short, Boogie moved her in, tried to keep her like hidden from all of his fans while complaining he was lonely, didn't have anyone or stuff like that. And then he got really hostile towards her, tried to lock her in the house, keep her in the house. Because she obviously does a lot of shoots for different companies and all that.
Oh yeah, so she has to be on the move.
He basically guilt tripped her into staying at home, and then she lost pretty much all of her income, and she had to rely on Boogie, who pretty much only gave her stuff that his parent, or he basically gave her hand-me-downs.
Well, his parents have both actually passed away, sadly.
I know, that's why I had to sort of reword what I said. But things that he's been given by other people, he gave to her because he didn't want to spend any money on her.
You told me a bit about this ages ago, but I wasn't paying full attention. Now that I'm paying full attention and you're telling me the whole situation, that's really disgusting that Boogie did something like that. I don't know now if I really feel like he's a truly nice guy. Are you sure this is there any proof that he's done this?
This is 100% proof, because he basically said, I think he commented on something saying, no, there's no proof that I don't even know who this woman is. and this woman went out of her way and posted the picture of them two like hugging, saying, "This is the proof. Look, I was in his house. I've lived with him for this many months, and look, I'm wearing this. This is what like his whatever uncle ever gave him, and I'm wearing it now because the only thing he gives me is stuff that he's been given for free." So she's put herself out of the way to prove that it was all true.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's just weird.
So what does Boogie say about it then?
I don't think he's commented on it. I haven't seen.
I mean, shouldn't he be arrested for this type of behaviour?
I don't think she's willing to go to the police. I think that's the main thing.
I mean, she should. I'm not having to go at Boogie, but he forced her to stay inside. Then she.
Basically, she had to go out a lot, to go and do loads of like video shoots, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, I want you staying at home. I need stuff doing around the house."
So he sort of browbeated her then. Oh, that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, and then alright, just take this last bit as speculation, but
I don't know why he doesn't just hire a maid or a butler. I don't know why he wants some adult film star doing everything for him when he knows that she's going to be on the move a lot.
I know, but just take this last bit as like a speculation. But at the time, she was 20. And she said that Boogie was also talking to people younger than her. I know the legal age is 18 in America. I'm not calling him anything at all, but she just said she knows that he talked to people younger than her. So
talked as in wanting to get with her more friendly.
She said she didn't know, so yeah.
With big gaming YouTubers, I don't think Boogie is a Minecraft nonce. I know you're not implying that, and it's speculation.
Yeah.
If I had to seriously guess, I'd say he's not a nonce at all. I think he'd just be talking to him in a really friendly manner, and on Xbox or PlayStation, because obviously Boogie's going to have some young fans. He's talking about gaming, so
Yeah.
Boogie's respectful to a lot of his fans, and as much as it's bad that he did this to this woman, I feel like it's just a browbeating situation, which is still really bad, but it's not like he forced her in there,
Yeah.
But it's still not good. It still doesn't look good for him.
Yeah, I know I did bring a lot of like negative points to it, but I've never thought highly of him. I've just never liked Boogie for some reason.
I personally thought he was great years ago. He was one of my favourite YouTubers, like I said. But you just forget about this sort of stuff, like someone being around for so many years. The Francis stuff, as much as it's funny, I'm just not as fussed anymore. Again, him talking about gaming news, I'm not fussed about gaming anymore. Like, it's just not my type of thing. Even without all these controversies, I still have the same opinion on Boogie. Like, he's an alright dude, But the only reason I've watched a bit of him or looked into him a little bit was because you brought him up as a decent person to review. And, that's it really. That's it to the segment, but I mean, that's the only reason I'm looking into him a bit. I'm not fussed about him, but he used to be one of my favourite YouTubers.
Just a random thing. What's your opinion on his new teeth? No, I'm joking.
His new teeth, if I'm being brutally honest, no sarcasm here. His new teeth look amazing. Very weird that he's showing them off constantly, though.
Yeah.
But you can sort of get it because his whole life he had fucked up teeth, so like really messed up. So I don't blame him for showing them off. It's something that a person with normal teeth takes for granted. So I swear down, I'm not being sarcastic. I don't blame him for showing them off a bit.
I just remember that thing. Remember that picture? This is totally random. But remember that picture I sent you about him selling his own bathwater the other day?
Boogie. Oh yeah, that was scary.
That was disgusting.
But yeah. Anyway, but is he genuinely selling the bathwater?
I think he was a joke, but he put a full-on picture of him in the bath.
Yeah, very disturbing, but fair enough.
I might flash it on the screen just to freak. No, I won't do that. No. Trust me.
To be honest though, with Boogie, I think he's not much of a. His videos are just a bit, It's cool how he's, like I say, he's put effort into losing weight a little bit, and obviously had that fat operation.
Yeah.
So he's looking like a totally different person now. To be honest, considering he's got 4.5 million subs, 61k a day ago, 200k, 158k, 157k, 100k. None of his videos getting anywhere near 1 million views, it seems. So, I don't know, but at the end of the day, what he's doing, I feel like gaming YouTubers are a little bit obsolete, a little bit, especially news channels. So, I feel like a lot of people are just it's nothing that he's doing wrong. It's just that this type of content isn't as relevant as before, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm trying to think, what other weird stuff did he say? He talks about how he really wants to like be nice to people. How years ago he saw someone's hand come in his house, and they were like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I just wanted to use the phone." He said, "No, you didn't. You were trying to rob me." Then he ended up giving him a lift home, and then he's like, "If he'd shot me, I would have been fine with that." I feel like, man, Boogie,
What?
he's literally. He was on the podcast H3H3. I was thinking, man, he's too away, but at the same time, why did he treat that person you were telling me about so bad? It's like there's two sides to him, man. It's just, I don't get it, really. Also, he's an ultimate fence sitter.
Oh,
like
yeah.
when Logan Paul did that really bad thing, like, it's fine to be a centrist on things, but you have to give a bit of your own opinion. Every centrist is going to have their own opinion in one way, shape, or form. It's fine to understand another side of an argument, but you're going to have your own opinion. You're going to have certain things that you're leaning towards on certain issues. And for Boogie to be like, "Oh, well, what Logan Paul did was awful, but he put a link to suicide phone line, suicide line, and depression line. So it wasn't bad. No, it was bad. He made the choice to film it, upload it to the internet, and laugh at it. That I know this is old news, and I know we're beating a dead horse, but just to make the point here, laughing at a dead hanging corpse is absolutely horrific, and especially someone who's committed suicide, like, their life, what they've been through, it must have been, horrific, and for him to just laugh at it, that first off, that isn't a normal reaction, and second off, why the bloody hell would you upload that nonsense to YouTube?
I know.
I personally, I think, obviously, now that we're doing this podcast, say if we were doing the podcast at the time, at the start of 2018, I don't know, a part of me wouldn't want to give attention to it, but because it's a big issue, you sort of want to give attention to how much of an idiot Logan Paul's been, so hopefully he can learn from it, which he sort of has learned from it, in my opinion. He hasn't done anything as bad, but he's still, like, the Pauls are still douches, but they haven't done anything that bad since. Well, it's hard to do something that bad and come back, so. But yeah, for